Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I'm honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Okay, my loves. First of all, we have so many new subscribers and new members of our soul family. So welcome, you guys. It's so thrilling to watch this channel grow. It's so thrilling for me to be here with you guys. And today we are actually getting messages about how your life is changing for September of 2023. Now, most of the time I do timeless readings, but when the call to do this particular reading came in, it was very specific to September 2023. So, Rach, if you're watching, I'm using you as the inspiration. I sat with this calling with my guides for a bit, and I asked, well, what is the purpose? What is the point of this? Why would I do a reading where this is how your life is changing for this month? Because I have noticed that even though I do these kind of readings or I watch these kind of readings, they don't always resonate or they don't always hit. And my guides made me think about my best friend, Rachel, and how we don't always understand that our life can literally change in the blink of an eye. And it's not always for a bad reason or a negative reason. Sometimes it's literally because all the best things are falling in place. All the best things are falling in line finally in our lives. So because of that, they brought her face to my mind's eye, and I started thinking about it and how in her life right now there are a massive amount of changes, but those changes have been freeing for her. Those changes have helped her become more herself. They have helped her to stand more in her power. They have helped her to open her heart more. They have helped her to realize her worthiness and her worth and her value more, and to stand very firm with that. They have helped her to embrace spontaneity instead of careful preparation and planning of everything. They've helped her in many, many ways. And I get to, because I'm her best friend, I get to be witness to these changes and the ways in which things are so rapidly changing for the better, but they're all coming together exactly as they're meant to, exactly how they're meant to, when they're meant to. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful unfolding to witness. And when all of that came in, that was when I was so aware and, okay, I get it now. I get the purpose of this reading now. Whether these are changes that hit in the month of September but take a year, 2 years, 3 years to unfold, whether these are changes that have already hit in the beginning of September and this is just a confirmation for you that this is what you're going through, that your guides are right beside you and that it is okay, or whether this is something that is going to unfold over the course of the month, it's going to be different for each one of you. But your guides want you to know that, yes, your life can change that fast. Yes, it can change in the best ways. Yes, you can do all these things, have all these things, be all these things. Yes, you can. And they want to talk to you about them today. So we do have 4 piles here. And I am bringing back the runes. I'm bringing back the runes, you guys. So if you have been here since last year, during spooky season last year, but also during the fall season and the winter seasons, what I did was I used runes in all of our readings. Now, I didn't do a collective overall rune for this reading this time, but we will be doing that on and off with other readings. But we do have your runes here. So we are going to be working with the witch runes at least through to the end of spooky season, which would be through to the end of the Day of the Dead or November 1st. After that, I think we'll probably go back to the Elder Futhark runes and get back into that Nordic energy, which is so strong during, Samhain season, Yule season all the way through into Imbolc, going through those sabbats, and that energy is very, very Nordic strength energy in the Northern Hemisphere. So I think that we're going to tap into those for sure, at least for some duration of that time frame. But for now, we are working with the Witch's Runes, and we are also working with the Wordless Oracle Deck. Now, I know that the lighting right now, because it is daylight out, is a little bit off. So I'm going to move all of these up as I play meditation music for you guys. That way you guys can get tapped into the energy of the cards, but you can also go into your meditative state. If you choose based off of numbers, whether it is a specific pile number that you are being drawn to right now, or it is the numerology of the timestamps, please check those in the description box, as well as probably in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure I'll have it in the comment section below. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I do. Sometimes I forget, but most of the time I do. If you don't find it in the very top pinned comment, check the description box. And I'll see you at your piles. But without further ado, I want to say thank you one more time. Let's get that meditation music going for you guys, and I will see you at your piles. Hello, pile one. If you chose the first card and the first rune stone, this is your message about how your life is changing in September. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the rune that you have is the sun, but you also have a full moon here on your card, and you have the whale. Now, the moon is known to control the ebbs and flows, the tides of the waters of the world. And I always think about how there are times where we can forget that even though the moon does control that, it depends on the location of the moon. And for the moon to be full, it means the sun has to be able to shine directly on it. So the earth has to be between the sun and the moon. You are the earth in this sense. In order for this to be seen, you have to be in between. You have to stand in the middle. Now, the way that your life your perspective, your world is changing and shifting right now, has everything to do with you. It has to do with an ancient part of your soul awakening and beginning to sing strongly, firmly, boldly, truly, to sing out into the world. And when these things happen, when we move into a state in which we begin to sing from our soul, from the truth of ourselves, that's when we begin to shine both in the darkness and during the day. It's when all of who we are begins to be seen by the rest of the world, because we finally are able to stand in the mirror and look at ourselves and see the totality of who we are. And when we see our wholeness, when we see the truth of ourselves, we are able to understand. What we're able to understand is going to be dependent on each one of you. It depends on what you think, what you feel, what you're experiencing, what journey you're on, what leg of your journey you're on. But in this case, it's about you. You're beginning to see you. And as you begin to see you, you start understanding that it's okay for you to shine yourself forth into the world. It's okay for you to be who you are. I don't know if some of you may have had a troubling childhood where you felt like you were the dissonance in every song. So there's always a dissonant line in the song because it helps the harmony and it helps the melody. But it is the outlier line. It's the outlier set of music. It's the set of music that doesn't match with anything else. But it is beautiful in its own right. And you are the dissonant song of the world, where you may have felt like the black sheep. You may have felt like the outsider. Imagine, if you will, the whale's first journey into the water. Because whales, they've proven that whales used to have legs. So they used to walk on land. When they started to transition into being the water mammals that they are, they would have been the dissonance in the fish. Still having legs, yet traveling the depths of the ocean. Being different, unique. Over time, they maintained a certain similarity to fish, but they never became them. They became something different. They became the mammals in the water. They carry their young. They birth their young the same as any mammal does. Humans are mammals. We carry and birth our young the same as whales do. But they also don't have legs, just like fish don't have legs anymore. So they became something new, an amalgam of the land and the air and the sea, a blending and dissonant beauty. And we now think about whale songs and how resonant it is for our souls to listen to their beautiful, haunting melodies. They're different, but they are so uniquely beautiful, and they don't worry about what the other schools of fish think or feel. They only concern themselves with what they are here to do, what their life is. This is what you're moving into. This is how you are changing, how your life is changing in September. So I want to get a little bit more information, but I love this for you already, Pile One. I absolutely do. All right. Spirit and guides for Pile One. Can we get a little bit more about what this song is. A little bit less than that. You guys have like these big chunks coming out of cards. And I love that because it tells me that there's so much to it. I just heard that is your big chunk. Okay. You may, again, dealing with not seeing yourself, not knowing, not being certain. When the whales first went into the water, they may not have known exactly the choice that they were making, what was going to be, what could happen or would happen, but they made it anyway. So you may not know definitively what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but it's about making the choice anyway. And again, we have the sun here and 2 10s. This is all, we've got 10, 10, 10. So 10s may be a significant time. Something may happen around the 10th day of the month, or on a 10 day. Like, if you take 9 plus whatever plus 7 and it reduces down to a 1. But this is talking about you shining out. It's essentially making the choice to shine your light, shine your truth, shine who you are, all the work that you've done. Show everybody what you've done and how you have cultivated, ending a mentality that has held you back from seeing the truth of your beauty and your happiness. Oh my God. This is the first time I have ever noticed that this has a treble clef. I've never once noticed that before. It's a hammock to me, but it's music too. That is, I love that. That is so awesome. Pile 1. This is about you seeing the truth of yourself. Remember, this is about you seeing your wholeness, your totality, all of what you are, all of what you contain. The way that it's changing is you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. You're starting to see how you shining out has actually nurtured your life, your happiness, your dreams, your wishes, and your goals. Your life is going to change because the things that make you happy, they're going to make you happy. Not things that you tell yourself, well, once I get to X, Y, and Z, then I will ABC, whatever those things are. This is you telling yourself, I'm going to do this. Why? Because it makes me happy in this exact moment. And as you stand in the exact moment, feeling that happiness, that's when you start hearing your own haunting, beautiful, dissonant melody and realizing that you're meant to experience both the cups and the swords. You're meant to show the world that we can have happiness and sadness at the same time. We can have joy and pain at the same time. We can exist in both states simultaneously and be very successful. This is incredible energy, pile 1. Let's see what else. What else does pile 1 need to know? This is just some loving advice. We have Peppers 28, another freaking 10. Be fierce about the ways in which you protect yourself. Allies await. Yes. And then 7, Witch's Rosary. So the 10th day of this month. And I should have this reading out before then because it's the 5th when I'm filming it. It says Witch's Rosary 43. Craft your skills with intentions. Repeated. A practice of magic powered by purpose. And on the back, we have 33, a master number with root vegetables. And this one says, in those hidden places where most fear to go is where the most nourishment is waiting for you to behold. This right here, this awareness that we can hold all of them. We can be both. We don't have to be one or the other. We can be both. And some of you may be Geminis. Nope, not Geminis. Aquarius energy. I just was brought back to my Aquarian reading for Kismetology, and there is a similar energy to that. But with this, something that I'm getting here is that you can be all of these things all at the same time. You can be both happy and sad. Like I said, you're teaching the world that that's a way that you can be, just like the whale can be both mammal and fish. You too can be both. You can resonate with the people all around you, but you can also resonate with the energy of the earth, of the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea, and all the things that people say aren't human or don't have a personification energy. You can resonate with all of those. So you're moving into a place in which you're showing the world that the more that you work on believing that you can be all these things, you can have all these things and not be encumbered by your differences, but uplifted by being unique, uplifted by being different, uplifted by knowing that you have the capability of seeing further, seeing beyond, and diving deeper. It may be scary to make that change, but the change that you're making is one that shows yourself and the world that you can contain all of it all at once and shine it forth. So we're going to get just a little bit of mindful messages, some mindfulness for you for the month of September, and then we'll let you guys go. All right, we got one. Can we get one more? Thank you. All right, and we are not going to take the back of the deck energy, so I'm just going to set those there. We have inspiration board. I love this. I'm not one to do an inspiration board usually, but I do have like a little wall hanging over here on my wall that says like a boss, and it has a bunch of these positive affirmations clipped to it. And I really love that. I actually have quite a few of them that have those now. But it says, if I am ever feeling down or bored, I spend time creating a vision board to place in my home. I fill it with quotes, pictures, and desires that bring me inspiration and joy. So this is saying, if you guys need something more to keep you going, even if you don't want to make a vision board, doing something like I have where it's just mindfulness, it's just positive affirmations. A lot of those are positive affirmations about my psychic gifts because it's taken me a long time just to accept my gifts, let alone to believe in them, to embrace them and develop them and nurture them, and to believe in myself when I come here and do this. Each and every one of you give me something that gives me another piece to believe in. But sometimes just having those positive affirmations in front of us gives us more motivation. And then we have expressing love. Today, I notice the things I appreciate about the people in my life. I take a moment to send them love and wish them well. My love is infinite and it feels great to express it. I really love this too, because I just mentioned you guys and how your comments, your support, your emails, the donations, and the tiny little notes that I get along with the donations, those are things that show me how grateful you guys are. Show me how appreciative you guys are. Shows me that you guys have a place in your heart and your soul for me, just like I do with each and every one of you. And it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship that we have. Sometimes when we express love to another person, we remind ourselves of how much we are loved. We remind ourselves of how much we're capable of loving ourselves and others. Sometimes it's the expression of love that we receive that gives us the most. I know if you guys are thinking about moments where you have felt the most outside, I want you to know that sometimes our own perceptions really limit the truth. I learned that the hard way recently. And I'm going to finish this reading with this story. After my grandmother died, I was talking to my aunt. We were emptying out my grandma's apartment, and I was packing up, and my aunt and I were talking about my visions and my gifts and how I have always felt like the black sheep of the family, because even though I know that I have other family members who are psychically gifted and spiritually gifted, I'm the only one who has really embraced this life. I'm the only one who has embraced being a fortune teller or being a divinator or being a healer or any of these things. I'm the only one who has done this in this way. Even though it's called to each and every one of us in our own ways, we all grew up very Christian, and I'm the only one that has really veered away from how we were raised. And so it has always made me feel like I'm not accepted and I'm not loved for me. And she talked to me about her own gifts and her own knowings and her own awarenesses and my grandma's knowings. And we were talking about my mom who is incredibly down to earth and incredibly pragmatic and incredibly religious, and how I just wish with all of my heart that my mom loved me for me. And she looked at me and she said, she does. She does. She calls me and tells me about your visions. She calls me and tells me about your knowings, about the things that you can do and the things that the people that you impact and all the things that you call her and tell her about. She calls me and tells me about and brags about to me. And I looked at her and I said, she does. And she said, she does. She does. She does love you. She does support this. She's come a very long way, but she does love you. And I said, I did not realize how much I needed to hear that. Because she may not show me that, but she shows other people through an expression of love. She expresses her love to me, to other people, through pride, through bragging about her daughter and her successes, through sharing the things that I struggle with, that she struggles with, through building a community of love, through praying for me. Sometimes we don't see the truth because our own perception clouds the truth. But it's not clouding it because we're wrong, and it's not clouding it because the other person is wrong. It's clouding it because we just don't know. We're just not aware. You're coming into a state of awareness now. So this month, take a little extra time, express some extra love, show someone that you love them in a way that you may not normally do, and see how they change, see how you change. Watch as your life changes. The work that you've done, the diligence, the dedication that you have put forth into these changes, it's not unseen, it's not unknown, and it wasn't without its cost. But this is the time for you to see your wholeness now and really shine yourself. All right, pile one. This is what I have for you. I want to say thank you so much. This was such a beautiful message, such a beautiful energy to work with. And it's always such a blessing for me. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides in spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies and allowing these messages to flow through so beautifully and smoothly to reach all those in the collective of pile one. Thank you. Pile one, if this resonated, please feel free to like this video, comment down in the comment section below. Like I said, I love interacting with you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yeah, that's about all I have for you guys. If you have chosen another pile, I will see you at that other pile. If not, I will see you at my next reading. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you chose the second rune and this beautiful card here, this is your message about how your life is changing for September of 2023. This is the second time I've gotten this feeling with this reading in particular. So I got this feeling of, even though this is dated, I had the feeling that there are going to be people who either come back to it or who watch it later on down the road just to kind of get a view into the accuracy or maybe another layer. If you're watching this well down the road, please know that you were led here for a reason. Now, I want to get into the message. I want to start with this core energy card. So you have this romance rune here. And normally people, when they hear the word romance, they think, romantic connections, love, intimacy, things like that. This is more about the connection between your divine masculine and divine feminine and the freedom of your three selves. This is interesting. Okay. So your guides are showing me three levels of yourself. So there's your higher self, you, and then your lower self. But your lower self is not a negative thing or a bad thing. Your lower self is the essence of your root, your core, your ancestry. Your lower self is this energy down here that is very, there's a very shamanic vibe to it. So you guys some of you are actually currently studying shamanism. I am picking that up in the energy. Others of you don't really grasp the concept of shamanism, but have a very shamanic soul. Your soul in and of itself is deeply shamanic. So shamanism is a practice, a study, a belief system. They are the ancient medicine men and women. A lot of shamanism has to do with trance work, spirit walking, but it also has to do with natural homeopathic methods of healing. Shamanism, to me, is very easily correlatable with witchcraft and herbalism. But there is an essence here of something that shamanism calls inventory, taking inventory. Actually, there's a book. It's called The Wisdom of the Shamans, and it is by one of the Ruiz brothers. It's not Don Miguel Ruiz. I think it's Jose Ruiz, who wrote that book, and he talks about the inventory. When we take inventory, it's like taking stock of everything around you, but also taking stock of everything within you. So this part of you, this shamanic energy within you, is actually being correlated to the romance rune. It's like the shamanic part of you is the beautiful compilation of divine masculine and divine feminine flowing together. And that part is coming alive this month of September. Not just coming alive, not just awakening. It's really coming to the forefront. It's really coming out. It's really taking flight into your life. So from this point forward, from the point in which you're watching forward, or if you're doing a review to look back at this month, think about where you were on September 6th, because that's when I'm filming your pile, is September 6th. Think about where you were during this time frame in 2023. Think about where you are in your life. Think about all the things that you have endured, all the things that you have gone through, all the things that you have overcome. Think about these things. Now take stock of them. What have they taught you? How have they strengthened you? How have they shifted your perception? Now I'm picking up another familiar energy, but it's a more resistant energy to this message. And that's okay. Actually, your resistance, if any of you are feeling that resistance to this message, your resistance is absolutely necessary right now, because the resistance and the dissonance that you feel, that energetic interaction where you're like, no, I don't want to take stock, or these things haven't really helped me, anything like that, that's the perfect place to be in for the lesson to come through. And I know that that might be hard to hear. That very well may be hard to hear. But it doesn't mean, whoa, okay, I just heard it doesn't mean what you think it does. When we talk about the things that we have gone through, the things that we have endured, the things that we have survived, when we talk about these things, it's not to say that it's okay. It's not to say that you had to go through them. It's not to say that. It's not to negate the hardships. It's to say these things were part of your journey because of choices you made, choices other people made, and the interaction of all of that. So they became a necessary part. Were they originally? Only you know that. And that can be frustrating, because then that asks you to depend upon yourself and your own knowing. So only you know whether it was absolutely necessary from the start of your journey in this life. Only you know whether it was absolutely 100% necessary for you to go through that, for you to be here. Only you know. And yes, that can be incredibly frustrating, because you don't want that to be the case. Because what if you actually were meant to suffer? What if you actually were meant to go through all these things? These are all energies and questions that are coming to light, coming to the surface within you, within your energy, that I can feel and interpret for you right now. And why? That's because you're moving into a state of greater harmony within yourself. When we move into a state of greater harmony within ourselves, the blatant, honest truth is that in order to unify our divine masculine and divine feminine, in order to harmonize our internal energy, we first must realize where there is dissonance. We first must realize what is not in alignment, what is not resonant within ourselves. We first must realize how we are hindering ourselves, how we are holding ourselves back. And these are some of the most challenging things to face. This is what it means to take inventory and take stock. It doesn't mean to go and say, okay, I have X amount of books, I have X amount of clothes, I have this, I have that, I have this person in my life, that person in my life. No, this is about saying, I have this mentality. This mentality feeds into this belief system. This belief system feeds into this set of circumstances. And this set of circumstances is the manifestation of what comes into my life on a consistent basis based off of this original thought form. When you take stock of each individual step, then you can say, is this thought form, this origin point, this thought form, serving my highest good or not? And move from there. So I'm going to pause it. I have a phone call coming in that I have to take, and then we'll get into the cards. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much for that. I apologize. So I am actually leaving the state for a week or so, and I needed to make sure that I had all my medicines refilled before I left. And I love how that actually, the call came in while I was talking about thought forms and all of that, because that actually is something that I have struggled with myself. So For those of you who don't know, in March of this year, I was finally, and I say this with such intense relief, I was finally diagnosed properly. And it's not a great diagnosis. I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, definitive for hypermobile, with classic-like traits as well as vascular traits. So we know that I have some mutations of the genes to indicate some of the worst types. And I also have the physical manifestation of it. It is a degenerative illness that will consume my life in its own way, and it will kill me someday. And that has been really hard for me to face. And when that came in, something I needed to take stock of was a thought form that I had surrounding whether I had caused this to happen, this genetic illness. Was this my fault? And because I am a womb twin survivor, I also had to face a secondary thought form of, why didn't my twin brother take this illness with him? Why did I have to have this? Why couldn't he have taken that with him when he passed, so that I would not have to suffer like this? Why do I have to suffer if he died with all of these different genetic conditions and I was protected from those genetic conditions? These are really toxic thought forms that I've held on to for far too long in my life. But over the summer, I did my inventory and I did my taking stock, because these thought forms crippled me. They made the pain worse. They made it harder to bear. They made it harder to navigate through, to the point that they became so overwhelming, I could barely film. And I had to face that I needed more help than what I was able to do for myself with my own gifts. And so I had to take stock, take inventory, go back down and change the thought form to realizing that I don't have cerebral palsy. I don't have hemochromatosis. I don't have breast cancer or ovarian cancer or lung cancer. I don't have all of these different things that my twin brother Jonah would have had because they were pathogenic genetic variants. I don't have any of those. He took those off of my plate, so I would not have to suffer through that. He did all of that for me. And I can handle this pain. I can speak about it, talk about it, be public about it so that other people understand. Modern medicine for me is a life-saving thing. It keeps me here. It keeps me present in my life. It has brought to me some of the most important people on my journey thus far. Sometimes when we're taking stock in order to come back into a state of wholeness within ourselves, to realize all that we contain within ourselves, our higher self, our middle self, and our lower self, when we are bringing all these pieces of ourselves back together, back into wholeness, sometimes we have to face the darkest inner demons that we carry. This month, the change that you're making in your life is that you're willing to face it because you see the worthiness of you and the value that you hold. So let's get some cards and find out a little bit more. Okay. You guys had a lot more cards come out. And when I tried to put these back, they wouldn't go back. They did not want to. The energy was very overwhelming. So we have your divine masculine sitting here as the Emperor card. And on the shadow side, we have your divine feminine as the Queen of Swords. Now, your divine masculine is looking out this direction. She's looking way further into the future. What's going on internally is this conflict surrounding your passion, surrounding your purpose, surrounding what feels right, surrounding what feels good. This conflict that is internal and mental. The Nine of Swords with the Knight of Cups. This is that conflict with romance, but not romance in the sense of connections. This is romance in the sense of what you feel makes you alive, creates that feeling of aliveness, that what you experience in life and how it makes you feel whole, and whether or not there are pieces in your life that are diminishing you. Because you want this joy, this excitement, this celebration, this coming together. You want to realize that you have the power to really stand firm in harmony internally with your masculine and your feminine. This harmony, as above, so below, that you are seeking, so that you know that when you plant the next seed, this viewpoint that you have of the future, this widespread, wide-ranging view that you have of what is to come, when you climb that mountain, when you plant that seed, what is going to grow is going to be your leadership part of life. It is going to be what is exactly meant to be for you moving forward. This is why it's time to take stock and to look at the different mentalities and the different viewpoints and the different thought forms. Look at them. Ask yourself whether they are serving you. Are they helping you? Are they hindering you? What is the truth? So how can you move forward? That's what we're looking at with these cards. How can you move forward? What is the how of things for pile 2? How can pile 2 move forward? One more, please. One more, please. Or 2 more, because that's just how it works. Okay. We have campfire on the back, and it says, yes, do not fear opening your mouth and allowing your tongue to speak. That is number 1. What you know, what you seek, what you perceive. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Don't be afraid to tell your stories. Don't be afraid that you won't be accepted and you won't be loved. Don't fear those things, because your voice matters and your story matters. What you have to say, who you are, it all matters. It's all important to this journey. And then we have wool, 44. You are woven with an embrace, protected, loved, and the familiarity of finally being home. Tea magic, number 38. So we have 44 and 11 here, and then 2 6s. So 4s, 1s, and 6s may be significant. We also have a 4 and a 1 here, and a 4 here. Wow. 4s, 1s, and 6s for sure. So it says tea magic. Reach into your subconscious. Pull from the source and weave magic with intention, and the answers will unfold. Thank you so much, spirit guides, for the confirmation. And then we have Fawn, 15, which reduces to a 6. Be curious, dear child, and explore the world within worlds. Explore what you contain within yourself. Explore the wisdom, the mystery, the magic within you. I don't even need to say anymore because they're like, it's already been said. This is how you do this. You use your voice. You take stock. You look at your inner self and you see all that you contain. You trust all that you are. That's such a big factor here. So we're just going to get a couple of mindful messages. So we have guidance system. I love using my emotions as a guidance system. They show me how close or far away I am from what I want. When I am feeling joy and doing the things I love, I'm in a state of allowing for my desires. I notice when I am feeling low vibrational thoughts and shift them to release resistance. That right there. So your emotions can be a guidance system. So as you're taking stock, this is asking you to also realize that your emotions are telling a story, the story of you. And as your emotions tell the story of you, you can learn how those emotions are being fed from a thought form. Is the thought form feeding positive emotions or negative? Let yourself realize, let yourself see, let yourself speak. And then we have recharge. I invite magic into my life always. Every day I grow my connection to the earth. If I am ever feeling low, I simply step outside and appreciate the natural miracles in this life. Being in nature lifts my spirits and recharges my energy. And the final one is, oh, I love this, up and out. To hold the parts of me that feel hurt, I must feel every emotion. It has to come up to come out. I don't try to push my feelings away. I sit with them and feel them as I release them. Again, we're coming back to your emotions. This is such an important message. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. Just like I almost broke down talking to you guys about my diagnosis. I lived under the umbrella of fibromyalgia for 14 years. 14 years I was hearing my intuition saying, the doctors are wrong. This is not what is going on. They're missing something. Everything has to be connected. They're missing something. 14 years I was saying that, and I started doubting myself. I started doubting that truth that I held within myself. And I doubted it so hard that I just chose to accept it and stop fighting. And that was when answers actually came in. But then I was angry at myself for having given up on myself. And I was angry at the insinuation from anyone else in my life that I would ever give up on myself because I had given up on myself. Feeling those things, it's not easy. The fear of what I'm facing, the fear of what I have known for my whole life, that I may die young, that I may live a life in which my physicality is truly in a state of suffering. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but it is something to feel and navigate through rather than allow to consume me and continue to feed negative thought forms that I have. When you come into a state of wholeness and harmony within yourself and you allow yourself to see that all parts of you are beautiful and handsome and amazing and special and important, when you let that inventory time play out as it's meant to, give yourself the grace to embrace Mother Nature and go outside and feel and see and experience. Yes, it can be challenging. Yes, it can be emotional. Yes, it can be hard. But it can also be uplifting and it can change your life. And pile 2, that is what this September is bringing. Life-changing energy. Okay. Pile 2, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides, and the Great Spirit for connecting our energies and bringing these messages forth. It has been such an honor. If this resonated, please like this video, comment down in the comment section below. Let other Pile 2s know that you guys are in this together. Even if it is an individual journey, you guys can still lean on each other. And I love interacting with you guys as well. If you are interested in donating to my channel, you can do that by going to the link in the description box. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I apologize. I needed to yawn. I'm moving a lot of energy. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to leave you here. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you at my next reading. I love you all. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the third rune, maybe. That would be the wind rune. Actually, this is waves. I apologize, you guys. It's waves. No? Yes? Yes. It's waves. Wow, I'm rusty. And this card right here, this is your message about how your life is changing this September. Okay, so let's start off with the fact that I kept getting the waves and the wind confused. First of all, the wind thing, some of you may feel drawn to checking out my last collaboration, Pick a Card. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to remember to link it down in the description box because I know me and my brain is like, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. And I always forget. But you can go ahead and check that out on my channel. It is my latest collaboration, the 8x8 collaboration with all of my 8 amazing soul family reading friends. So there may be messages in that for you. Now, that being said, we're taking a look at the waves here. First things first, with this card in particular, the first energy that I picked up from here is the Oracle of Delphi energy. Now, the Oracle of Delphi, or Pythia, she was an oracle, but she used to inhale fumes from a crack in the ground. And these fumes would put her into a meditative trance-like state. And from that, she would be able to receive visions from the gods. And she would predict the outcome of wars and battle and whether someone should get married or not get married and this and that. And she was blamed a lot for the outcomes being what they were, but she was simply the messenger. She was the middle person. She believed in a force and a power greater than herself, and she adhered to the messages brought forth from that, messages that spanned time and place, messages that defied reason and logic. It defied stoicism. It defied philosophy and went directly into pure, unadulterated belief. That's the first energy that I'm picking up with you guys, that you're stepping into this purity of faith and hope and belief. But with this card, the Oracle of Delphi coming through, as well as the Waves rune, what I'm getting from this is a kind of essence of believing in the chaos finally. Believing in the chaos finally. So when we go through times in our life and things change rapidly and dramatically, we can find ourselves in a state of chaos. And we don't understand what the chaos is. Excuse me, just one moment. I have Willow whining. Come here, baby. Willow. Okay. And now she's done. Hi, Jade. Can you go lay down, please? Lay down. Thank you, dogs. Sorry. I have my dogs in here. They're silly. Anyway, when we go through a state of chaos, we can see it as a negative thing. We can see it as something that is going to hinder or harm us. We can see it as these things. Or we can look at this state of chaos and say, look at all the possibilities this is opening up within us. Look at all the things that we get to do. Look at all the things that we get to experience. And that really is what this energy is. It's you stepping more fully into a state of awareness that the chaos is the place of creation. And in September, your life is changing because the chaos is still chaos. It's chaos for the sake of chaos, but you're starting to see the creation within it. And that is a magical energy to be in. It's a magical place to be in. So I'm going to pause it and let my dogs outside because they're going to whine. And then we're going to get into the cards and get a little bit more information. All right, my loves, thank you for your patience. I know that has become like a staple here. And I love that that actually happened during this reading, because I always say that anything that happens from the time that I set up the energy for any reading, whether it's a sign reading or a Pickacard reading, anything that happens from the moment I set up the energy for the pile to the filming process itself is part of the message. And my dogs can be incredibly chaotic. And that is the energy that I got here, is this chaos. But my dogs bring me this like rejuvenation and excitement and happiness energy all the time. So they really do help me create. And if you guys check out my shorts aren't always about messages from the guides. A lot of my shorts are about my dogs. And Willow in particular. So let's get a little bit more information about this change that's happening. I'm just letting the cards come out first. Okay. Well, first of all, you guys are going through a month with a lot of important energies, important lessons. We have 3 major arcana cards here so far that we can see. And that means that you guys are going through important, powerful spiritual lessons, especially when you've got the Devil and Temperance and the Star. These are very close to each other as well. I mean, Temperance leads directly into the Devil, but what we're skipping here is the Tower energy. So this is what is the seen energy. This is what is known. There's this 5 of Wands, this competition energy. Now, competition and chaos can be helpful. It can be a good thing. When we are competing with people that we love, we're competing, but we're also building each other up. But if we're competing with people who see us as competition and we see them as competition, and we are all operating in this lack mentality as though there's not enough, then what we're seeing here is chaos. Chaos and mayhem. Not chaos and creativity, but chaos and mayhem. Chaos and creativity would look like the wands being formed into the start of a ladder where everybody gets to climb up. We all help each other. I like how Chris Reck actually talks about the 5 of Wands as being like the training ground area. We can look at this as our training ground. This is your training ground month. So let's see what is unseen here. The 10 of Wands. It's so taxing and so heavy when we feel like we have to constantly compete with everybody else. We have to live up to this, that, and the other thing. We have to live up to this standard or that standard. We have to fulfill this person's ideations or that person's belief system. And all that does is get us trapped in this mentality that what we know, what we are, what we do is not enough. Wow. Pile 3. I almost called you guys pile 2. Pile 3. This energy, this month, this chaos, this change is here to break you free. It is here to break free from the puppeteering of other people's mindsets, of other people's mentalities, to give you hope so that you're not sitting there with your strings attached to the mind. Instead, you're casting your string up. You are fishing for stars and you're going to achieve it, attain it. You will have that moment. But this month where you're casting your net to the stars, it's about you learning that you have the power to balance all the energies within you, your inner and your outer world, so that you're not getting encumbered by the melee of the everyday life. And so you're able to see that you yourself are worthy and capable and strong, and that hope is possible when you see how your faith in your creative abilities will bring about the most enlightenment, hope, and harmony from the dark into the light. So let's see how you can do that. How can pile 3 do that in September? How can they find that hope? How can they cast that net? Pile 3. Okay, thank you so much. They want to start with the back of the deck energy. We've got shape shifting. Card number 35, it says, transformation is not the loss of what once was. It is the evolution of a more powerful self. This right here is about that faith. It's about that creativity and that chaos. When we embrace the chaos and we let it become our creative manifestation, in that moment, we are essentially shape shifting the energy. We're shape-shifting ourselves, but we're also shape-shifting the energy. So this is how you heal. This is how you come into balance, is by allowing yourself to shift and change, to realize that you're not losing anything. So there is no lack. What you're doing is you're shifting into a newness. It's the laws of thermodynamics, I believe, is what says energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed or transferred. I do believe that's thermodynamics. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. But energy can neither be created nor destroyed. All energy already exists in all things at all times. It just manifests in different forms, in different ways, in different places. And when one energy seemingly ends, it's not actually ending, it's just being transferred into a different state. So if we look at life as energy, when a life seemingly ends or when a life is lost, it is actually being transferred from the physical to the spiritual. Their body gets transferred from being a consumer to being a feeder. So the body begins to nourish the earth just as the earth nourished the body in its prior state. So it goes back into that symbiotic cycle of life. And it's really quite beautiful. So then we have tobacco, number 40. Oh my God. Feed your ancestors, raise the sacred smoke to them, for they are hungry to connect. Right here. The only competition that you have is a competition with yourself. Your ancestors are here to say, we feed you, you feed us. Symbiosis. We are working together with you. Nothing that is gone has ever been lost. And that's something they want you to know. And then you have coven, number 9. I am you and you are me. When we come together, we are all we seek. This is about you realizing. Again, I'm coming back to the chaos. You guys may be a Taurus, sun, moon, rising, or you may have a lot of strong Taurian placements or one of your angles, rising, descendant, IC, MC, may be in Taurus. The reason why I say that is there's a strong Uranus energy, but with that Uranus energy, I can feel Jupiter in there as well. And Jupiter and Uranus are both in Taurus right now. And there is this energy between the two of allowing your awareness of what creativity and chaos can be, expanding upon the ways in which things can be transformed, transferred, and transmuted in your life to expand into a more wholesome way. And then for you to see that everything is interconnected. We are all one. Just like we were talking about with things that are lost, we are all one. And that's what they want you to realize. One of the ways that you can do that is by coming together with people of like minds, by communing with your ancestors, by allowing for your faith and your hope and your belief to really expand further, and for you to really open yourself up to more. So these are mindful meditation cards or mindful messages to help you along your journey. You guys so far have gotten the most. Oh my God, I love this. I love this. I love this. We were just talking about the planets. It says, coming my way. Unique opportunities aligned with my desires present themselves to me. I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. This is a really great affirmation that you can use. So I'm going to leave it there if you guys want to screenshot it or write it down. That is a really great affirmation for you guys to use during the month of September. But some of the other things that your guides want you to be aware to help you to navigate through the chaos and to be open to coming together with others instead of seeing everything as a competition or being seen as competition, to have everything align and for you to come together with others. We have all is okay. All that I feel is okay. I hold myself in love through the unsureness, the worry, doubt, anger, fear, anxiety, rejection, or overwhelm. I am thankful to feel the full range of emotions that I do. These emotions are the very contrast that leads to my higher expansion. I love this. Oh, pile 3. I want to hug you guys so much right now. And then we have tune in. Today, before doing what I normally do, I will take a moment to slow down, to place my hands at my heart space and take a few deep breaths. I will ask myself what I truly want, and I will honor however I am feeling. These two are so beautiful because these two talk about the emotionality, and especially within this area, it talks about how you making sure that you're checking in on you. When we're going through chaos and we're going through changes and we're going through all of these things, and it feels like everything is in the air. Everything is just a whirlwind of disastrous circumstances. Taking a step back, checking in with your emotions, tuning into your heart, tuning into your needs, making sure that you're taking care of you one step at a time. You don't have to make all these grandiose changes in a short amount of time, doing one step at a time and realizing that you have more support surrounding you from your ancestors and your ancestral team than you realize. It will help navigate these waters. It will help you shift the way that you need to shift so that you don't see that way of being as a loss. And then from there, you can turn it into something action-oriented, like get focused. To attract what I want, first I get clear on what it is I desire. I envision it for a minute or more every day, feeling how it would feel to have this in my life. What I would do, how I'd react, and who I'd tell. I picture it all. Through my continual alignment with my desires, they begin to flow into my physical reality in divine timing. So I'm going to move this for you guys in case you want to screenshot that as well. And then we have finally I love this one. We have magic. And we have a first quarter moon happening in September. It's September 22nd, I believe, or something like that. And it is a first quarter moon in Sagittarius, but it's an anaretic moon. And anaretic moons, they're just such magical energy. Sorry, I had to yawn. Moving energy. So we have magic. There's magic and miracles all around me. Where others see coincidence, I see evidence of life's synchronicities. I love filling life with wonder and magic. It's way more fun that way. I love that we have get focused and magic, and it would not focus on the magic. It was focusing on the get focused. I love that because it's like, as soon as you focus on what you desire, as soon as you do these visualizations or you do these manifestation techniques, that's when magic starts coming in. But we can't focus on magic necessarily because it stops being synchronistic and it starts feeling normal. And this is about reinvigorating your feeling of magic and creativity and harmony and peace and balance. This is about reinvigorating all of that this month. Pile 3, I'm so excited for you guys. This is such a cool place to be. So I want to say thank you so much for you guys being here. Thank you for bringing this energy to my channel. Thank you for being open to these messages. Thank you to your guides, my guides, and the Great Spirit for connecting these energies and bringing these messages forth, allowing me to be the messenger. It's such a blessing and such an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Pile 3. If this resonated, please hit that like button, comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you guys are interested in donations to my channel, all of the links for donating to my channel, my Venmo, my PayPal are listed in the description box, and I would really, truly appreciate it. All those donations are what keeps this channel going. It helps get new cards. It helps me to build my stock so that I can launch my business front soon. And it keeps me going and makes sure that I have all my tech as updated as humanly possible. I know I'm still having some audio issues. We're working on it. So all that being said, I want to say thank you again so much to everybody. Pile 3, you guys are rock stars, and I love you guys. I'm so proud of you for where you're at, and I hope that this message gives you that oomph to let that shape-shifting begin. I will see you guys all at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose the 4th rune, the moon rune, as well as this beautiful card, this is your message for how your life is changing in September of 2023. So, Pile 4, I'm going to jump directly into it. I have the feeling that your message is actually going to be shorter than most because there is more to your energy and less to discuss, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense for you. So with this moon rune stone, and we're working with the witch's rune, this is an energy of the self, of the emotions, of the inner world. This card in and of itself, there's a church that is just on this mountainside, but there's nothing surrounding it. You can't even see a road to it or from it. This is the energy of the solo journey, of the inner journey, of the hermit energy. So that is really the core of what you're going through right now. And for those of you who didn't want to hear this, number one, are you sure you picked the wrong, are you sure that you picked the correct pile? And number two, sometimes we don't want to hear that it's time to hermit. Sometimes we don't want to hear that it's time to pull back because we're afraid that pulling back means that what we've done will fall apart. I want you to know, and I speak from personal experience, nothing that is meant to be will ever fall away. Nothing that is meant to be will ever fall apart. I have taken a lot of time away from regularly filming, both on this channel and on Kismetology. I've taken a lot of time away from being on a regular film schedule, from doing my 2 readings or 3 readings a week, from doing all the things that I want to do and bringing forth all the messages I want to bring forth. I have taken a long hiatus, way longer than I planned. I needed time to work on me. I needed time to work on my marriage. I needed time to work on my spirituality. I needed time to process my grief, to process my loss. I needed time for so many different things. And so I took the time that I needed for me, for my journey. And in the beginning, it was really, really terrifying because I didn't know whether this channel was going to survive it. I did not know whether Kismetology would survive it. But over the months where I have sporadically filmed, sporadically posted, and then taken long durations of time, weeks, if not months, in between filming and posting, I've watched my numbers either stay steady or actually increased. I have watched as this community and my Kismetology community has loved and supported me through. I would post on my community tab because I just didn't have the energy to do anything because I was going through physical changes, mental changes, emotional changes, spiritual changes, so vast that I am still processing all of what has changed within myself. So I'm here to tell you that during this month, when you're called to these things, if you're afraid because you think that the things that you love and the people that you love are going to fall away from you, I am here to tell you those that love you, those that are meant for you, they won't. And yes, it's okay for you to feel afraid that, well, what if this isn't meant for me? But if you're questioning whether it's meant for you or not, it's because it means so much to you. And if it means that much to you and it's a part of your heart and a part of your soul, the doubt that you feel is what you're being called to navigate your way through and to face. One of the biggest reasons why I worried about my channels is because I doubt myself and my gifts and my capabilities and what I'm here to do. I doubt myself. And I am perfectly okay with sharing that with you all because it's healthy for me to admit these things that I struggle with. It helps you understand I am human. We're all human. We all experience the gamut of the human emotions, and we can interact with each other. We can talk to each other. We can experience these things together. We can go through this together. But when you're called to do a hermit journey, there's a lot that is going to happen internally. And you may not be able to explain that to people. You may not be able to help them understand. You may not be able to bring that awareness forth. Not until you're ready. I wasn't ready to tell you guys all about all that has been going on in my life and all the changes that have been going on internally because I wasn't really sure how to even start. And that's okay. That is okay. You know why? Because I'm still here. You're still here and we're still working together. So if you need your time, and this energy here for this pile is you need some time for you. You need time to take yourself to church, so to speak. And I know I have friends that are also viewers and subscribers to my channel who talk about that a lot. Like they talk about me, quote unquote, taking them to church, where I start getting on I call it a soapbox, but I guess they would call it a pulpit. And I start preaching what Spirit wants me to say. I start talking about the ways in which you can better yourself and better your life, and the ways in which faith really does make such a huge difference. That's really what we're all doing here. We are all here working together in a faith-based manner. It doesn't have to be based off of Christianity. It doesn't have to be based off of Buddhism or Satanism or this or that. What it is faith in a higher power, faith in unconditional love, faith in the human experience, and faith in the growth that we're all capable of having, faith in the universe, faith in each other, and faith in ourselves. And that is what your September is looking like. That is what your September is bringing into you. This inner calling for you to come back to yourself, come back to your inner temple, inner pulpit, inner church, and to celebrate the faith that you have had in yourself. And as you celebrate that, it's a releasing of old ways of being. And yeah, sure, some things are going to fall away. That's how this process works. Things will fall away, but does that mean that you're missing anything or losing anything? No. Oh, I love this. This is arguably the best energy. Look, 3s may be significant because we have 333 here. But this is literally about a coming together, a harmonizing, a strengthening of yourself, your wild side and your tamed side, your lion and your lamb, your animalistic and your human. This is about you harmonizing with another person or harmonizing within yourself, strengthening the bonds that you have through strengthening yourself, leaping into the unknown, looking forward to the future and seeing I can build so much more in my life. I am going to weave a new reality into existence, a new life into existence, one where I have community, one where I have fellowship, one where my strength and my resolve has led me on this journey to a new bright future. And that's gorgeous and amazing. And I love this energy for you guys, especially since going on a solo journey like this, it requires so much. And I apologize if you guys can hear Willow barking. I have the windows open and she's out back. So let's get some advice on what kind of inward journey it's going to be. Inward journey for pile 4. Willow. I don't know if you guys can hear her barking. I think it's interesting though. It's funny. There's some Sagittarian energy here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have foraging here. Card number 17. There is no better feeling than having gone after what you desire. Exactly. So this whole it's time for you to take some time for you in September. It's time for you to take some time for yourself and to give to yourself. It's okay to do that. You guys have been going after the things that are right for you. And if you haven't, then this is a call for you to go after the things that are right for you because it's leading you into the future that you've been envisioning. When we forage, we find things out in the wild that we never imagined we could have in our lives. I actually did a lot of foraging this summer. I have a Ziploc bag right over there in my office that's filled with blue rosemary, wild blue rosemary that has such a beautiful scent and taste to it. And it just was growing wild in the yard and next door. And when you go out and you forage, you realize that there are more resources out there than we realize. There is more out there that is waiting for us to take it and to grasp it and to run with it. This September, that's what you're being called to do. Go out and look out into the world, but do it in a way where you have utter faith in yourself. And then we have Crow with the number 11. Pay close attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. I love that. First of all, I have been waking up practically every day and there are crows out of my yard cawing away. But crows represent spiritual messages, spiritual energies. They bring forth awarenesses to us that we wouldn't have normally seen. There's also this energy here about the eclipse. It's interesting. I'm going to give you guys a spoiler, and I'm talking really quiet, but it's not like you guys aren't going to hear me. For anybody who didn't pick this pile, and I'm going to ask you guys, don't mention it in the comments because it is a secret. It is a surprise. But I'm actually launching a Kismetology Messages and Musings podcast starting in October during the eclipse season. So there may be messages in that waiting to come in for you. But I love this because this message, your pile, is for me as well. There we go. I knew there was another one. And we have pomegranate 29, which also reduces to an 11. Dare to taste the unknown. Let it seduce your spirit awake. Look at this, you guys. You have the Fool card, which is literally leaping into the unknown. Taste the unknown. Let yourself experience something new, something exciting. Yeah. Leaping into the unknown is terrifying. But so is going after your desires. So is going after your wants. You guys have exactly the setup this month to take a chance, to take a risk. Finally, we have molasses with 26, also another 8. So 3s, 8s, and 11s or 1s. And it says, to move forward, you must know where you are headed. This right here is this energy. Coming back to ground, coming back to center, coming back to your sacred place internally and allowing yourself to see, you know what? I have done this. I have done this. I have done that. I have been successful in every area of my life. Even if it is a perceived failure, it's still a success. Because of that, now I'm going to take this chance. Now I'm going to take that chance. And I'm going to head in this direction. What is the direction I'm heading? I'm deciding that for myself. I am listening to the messages in the wind and I'm deciding for myself my path. This September, you're seeing where you're heading finally. All of what has come before has been leading you to a moment in which it's time for you to come back to yourself, come back to center, come back to you. Yes. New adventures. Today, I open myself up to new adventures. I go out and do something I've been holding back from. I move through the fear rather than let it control me. I trust my intuition and I follow my desires. There is no better feeling than having gone after what you desire. All right. These are just mindful cards. They're mindful messages to help you navigate your way through this next phase. Self-appreciation. I will find a moment throughout the day that I can dedicate to myself, find a comfortable space, and bring a pen and paper. I will write a letter of appreciation to myself where I will pour love into who I am and all that I do. It is hard. It can be very, very difficult to completely and totally give to yourself, to completely and totally love yourself. But when you're going on a new adventure, seeing all that you have done, seeing all that you have changed, seeing all that you have accomplished, and appreciating each and every moment with you, it makes such a huge difference. Finally, we have morning rituals. In the mornings, I will take time to tune into myself, to set high vibrational rituals that will help me lead a good day. I pay attention to the morning habits that don't serve me and change them for the ones that do. I got out of my normal morning rituals for a really long time, and then I started back up again just recently, where I get up, I make a pot of coffee. I open the blinds for the day. I turn the lights on in the kitchen. I make my bed. I take a shower and get ready for the day. I make sure my dogs are fed and watered. I make sure my kids are all ready to go for school. And some days I walk my son to school. I start a load of laundry. I start a load of dishes. And I do these things so that what I'm doing is I'm clearing and cleansing any energy from the day before, and I'm resetting for brand new energy for that day. And then I go about my business. So today I did all of that. And then I edited and uploaded 5 different sign readings. And I have filmed this Pickacard, 3 extra piles on this Pickacard. And I'm going to edit and upload this and still film because I've reset the energy. I have found a balance and a harmony by engaging in my morning rituals, giving myself the time and the appreciation for me, but also letting myself experience life and work in the way that I do. And all of these things are good tools and techniques for you moving forward. Set up this routine, set this ritual, and have it mean something where you're coming to ground and you're coming to center. That way, when you start your day and you know it's a new adventure, it will be exciting instead of stressful. Every moment that you take and you move that step forward, that's how it's meant to feel. It's meant to feel like you are dancing with life, that you're communing with life, that you are making friends with life, but also that you are finally moving into a state where you don't have to do it all. You don't have to be alone. You get to experience everything. All right. Pile 4s, I am proud of you. I'm honored to bring this message forth for you, and I am right there with you. I love you guys so, so much. I want to say thank you to your guides, my guides, and the Great Spirit for facilitating the connection between our energies, for allowing these messages to flow through so beautifully and smoothly. And thank you as well for allowing me to be the messenger today. It's been an honor. Pile 4, if this resonated, please feel free to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, comment in the comment section below, and hit that notification bell. For any of you who are interested in donating to my channel, the links to donate are in the description box below. And I am truly appreciative of everyone who donates and supports and keeps this channel going. All right, my loves, this is what I have for you. I will see you at my next reading. Have a beautiful month. Have a beautiful day. I love you all. Bye.